What if I told you that everything you've been taught about success, the long hours, the constant hustle, the grind until you drop mentality, was a lie? What if you didn't need more time, more meetings, or more coffee runs, but instead needed more clarity, more purpose, and just 4 intentional hours a day? I want you to sit with this truth for a moment. You are not here to be busy. You are here to be brilliant. You are not here to chase time. You are here to own it. For far too long, we have measured our worth by how exhausted we are, how many things we can check off, how long we stay up, how much we sacrifice. We've turned burnout into a badge of honor. We've praised people for being overworked, overwhelmed, and under-inspired. But I've learned, sometimes the hard way, that success isn't about how much you do. It's about what you choose to do with your best energy, your highest intention, and your clearest focus. This isn't a talk about shortcuts. It's a talk about alignment. Because when you align your actions with your purpose, when you strip away the distractions, the noise, the chaos, what you're left with is a power that can move mountains in just a few focused hours. So today, we're going to break free from the lie that you need to run yourself into the ground to make something meaningful. I'm going to show you how to do less, but create more. How to give your soul room to breathe and your dream space to grow. And how to work just 4 hours a day with deep, unshakable intention. And watch your results multiply like never before. Because you don't need a longer to-do list. You need a stronger why. And that's where the magic begins. Clarity is the first step toward greatness. Without it, we're just reacting to life instead of creating it. Most people confuse being busy with being productive, but they're not the same. You can run full speed on a treadmill and never move an inch. That's what life looks like without clarity. It's easy to fill a day with tasks, emails, errands, and meetings. But unless you are clear about your destination, you'll end the day exhausted, not fulfilled. Clarity starts with asking yourself what truly matters. What is the impact I want to have? What does success look like, not just in my work, but in my life? When you answer those questions honestly, you begin to cut through the noise. You stop trying to do everything, and you focus on doing the right things. Every morning should begin not with your inbox or someone else's priorities, but with your own intention. When you operate from clarity, you don't get pulled into the drama of distraction. You create on purpose. You move with intention. You rise with focus. People talk a lot about time management, but time means nothing if your energy is gone. You can have 8 hours blocked off for a task, but if your mind is foggy and your body is drained, nothing meaningful will happen. That's why energy management is the new productivity. You need to know when you're at your best, when your mind is sharp, your creativity is flowing, and your focus is deep. That time is sacred. Use it to tackle your highest priorities. Don't waste it on phone calls, chores, or multitasking. Protect it like your life depends on it. Because in a way it does. Your best work isn't about how long you sit at your desk. It's about how alive you feel while doing it. Once you learn how your energy flows throughout the day, you can design your schedule around your natural rhythm. Take breaks. Move your body. Eat real food. Sleep like it's your job. Because the sharper your energy, the shorter your workday needs to be. This is how you do more by doing less. In a world that constantly demands more from you, the greatest power you have is the ability to say no. Not everything deserves your attention. Not every opportunity is aligned with your purpose. Elimination is a superpower. If you're not careful, your calendar will be filled with obligations that don't serve your vision, meetings that don't matter, conversations that drain you, tasks that look important but only serve your ego. Productivity isn't about doing more. It's about doing less of the wrong things. Every time you eliminate a distraction, you reclaim a piece of your peace. You don't need more apps, more planners, more systems. You need fewer distractions, fewer commitments, and fewer things pulling you away from what actually matters. When you strip away the unnecessary, what remains is powerful. You see clearly, you act boldly. You make room for what truly moves you forward. Your greatness isn't hidden in the clutter. It's revealed in the simplicity of focus. The 80-20 rule is one of the simplest yet most powerful ideas you can apply to your life and work. It means that 80% of your results come from just 20% of your actions. Think about that. That means most of what you do each day doesn't really move the needle. It's filler, it's noise. But there are a few things, your 20%, that create massive results. When you find those few and you commit to them, your life transforms. The problem is we're often taught to treat all tasks equally. We give the same weight to responding to an email as we do to launching a new idea. That's a mistake. All actions are not created equal. You need to identify what your 20% is, those few tasks that bring you the most progress, the most income, the most fulfillment, and then double down on them. Cut, delegate, or delay the rest. The 80-20 rule is how you shrink your to-do list without shrinking your results. It's not about working harder. It's about working on what actually matters. Batching your work is one of the most effective ways to eliminate decision fatigue and protect your creative energy. Every time you switch tasks, check your phone, answer an email, take a call, you lose momentum. Your brain needs time to adjust, refocus, and recalibrate. That switch time adds up fast, and before you know it, hours are gone and nothing deep has been done. Batching solves that. It means grouping similar tasks together and doing them in dedicated blocks of time. For example, instead of answering emails all day, you set aside 1 or 2 times a day to process them all. Instead of filming 1 video at a time, you film 5 in one session. When you batch, you enter a flow state. You move faster. You think clearer. You reduce the noise in your mind. The less often you switch, the more powerful your work becomes. Batching is how you protect your mental bandwidth for what matters most. It's not just a time saver. It's a focus amplifier. Goals are important, but systems are what get you there. A goal is a destination, but a system is the vehicle. Too many people set big goals but fail to create the habits and routines that turn those goals into reality. They rely on motivation, but motivation fades. Systems don't. A system is what carries you when you don't feel like showing up. It's your repeatable process, your daily rhythm, your fallback plan. If your system is strong, your results become consistent. Think about athletes. They don't win championships by only showing up on game day. They win because they've trained, practiced, rested, and planned without fail. That's the power of systems. You don't rise to the level of your ambition. You fall to the level of your preparation. So build systems that work even when you're tired, distracted, or uninspired. Because when you can show up on autopilot and still make progress, you're no longer depending on willpower. You've become unstoppable. Technology can either distract you or empower you. It all depends on how you use it. Too many people are slaves to their tools instead of masters of them. But when used with intention, technology can unlock extraordinary efficiency. Automation is a gift. It allows you to offload repetitive tasks so your time and energy are reserved for what only you can do. Create, connect, lead, inspire. Use apps to schedule posts, manage workflows, track habits, or streamline communication. Delegate through software. Let your calendar work for you. Let your inbox filter what matters. The more you automate, the less you have to think about the mundane. This is about designing a life where your systems do the heavy lifting. You shouldn't be spending mental energy on what can be handled by tech. Technology, when aligned with your purpose, doesn't make you robotic, it makes you free. Free to focus. Free to create. Free to thrive. Multitasking is a myth. You're not doing multiple things, you're doing one thing poorly, over and over. True power comes from focused, undistracted work. Imagine what would happen if, for just 1 hour, you silenced your phone, closed your tabs, and poured your full attention into one task. No bouncing, no checking, no escaping. Just deep, immersive effort. That's how breakthroughs happen. That's how mastery is built. When you focus like a laser, you cut through confusion and get to the core of what matters. You finish faster. You work smarter. You feel more fulfilled. Focus isn't about willpower, it's about design. Set up your space to support deep work. Remove distractions before they even appear. Make it easy to focus, hard to drift. When you do this, 4 hours of focused effort can outpace a week of scattered hustle. Because in the end, it's not how long you work, it's how deep you go. Mental clarity is more valuable than any app, strategy, or plan, or without it, even the best tools are useless. Your mind is where all your decisions come from, all your ideas, all your vision. But if it's cluttered by stress, negativity, or overwhelm, nothing meaningful can grow. That's why protecting your peace is non-negotiable. You need space to think, space to breathe, space to dream. That means setting boundaries with people who drain you. That means starting your day in silence instead of social media. That means treating rest not as a luxury, but as a responsibility. A clear mind makes fast decisions. A peaceful heart makes powerful moves. Don't let the chaos of the world rob you of your calm. Protect it, guard it. Build rituals that center you. Because when your mind is quiet, your vision gets loud. And when your soul is still, your purpose speaks. So many people are chasing success with anxiety in their chest. They've been taught to hustle, to grind, to push through, even when their heart's not in it. But what if you could work with purpose instead of pressure? What if your motivation came from meaning, not fear? That shift changes everything. When you are connected to your why, your work flows, it energizes you, it pulls you forward. You stop asking, how much do I have to do today? And start asking, what legacy am I building today? Purpose is the fuel that turns 4 hours of work into results that echo far beyond your desk. It gives your actions weight, it gives your time value. You don't just want to be efficient, you want to be effective. You want your work to matter. So don't just chase productivity. Chase alignment, chase intention. And remember, you weren't put here just to work. You were put here to create, to inspire, to impact. Let that be the fire behind every move you make. And now, as we bring this message home, I want you to sit with this truth. Everything we've talked about today isn't just about getting more done. It's about stepping into a new way of being, a way that honors your energy, protects your peace, and multiplies your impact, not by doing more, but by doing what matters most. You do not need to be overwhelmed to be successful. You don't need to burn yourself out to be worthy. The world may celebrate the hustle, the long hours, the never-ending grind, but you now know better. You know that when you're focused, aligned, and working from your deepest sense of purpose, just 4 intentional hours can create more change, more growth, and more legacy than days of distracted effort. This isn't a shortcut. It's a shift from pressure to purpose, from chaos to clarity, from reacting to life to consciously creating it. When you protect your time like it's sacred, because it is, and you pour your best energy into the work that fuels your soul, everything changes. You start showing up differently. You speak differently. You think bigger, dream clearer, and act bolder. Because now you're no longer chasing success. You're embodying it, and the results. They come not from exhaustion, but from alignment. Not from how long you work, but from how deeply you connect to why you work. So I challenge you, no, I invite you, to move differently from this moment forward. Let others rush. Let others stay busy. You will move with intention. You will focus with courage. You will rest without guilt and work without noise. Because your life, your vision, and your voice deserve nothing less than the best of you. And the best of you doesn't come from being constantly busy. It comes from being deeply present. You already have everything you need inside you. All it takes is the decision to live differently, to choose quality over quantity, depth over drama, purpose over pressure. And when you do that, when you own your time with that kind of power and love, 4 hours a day becomes more than enough to build something extraordinary. Not just a business, not just a brand, but a legacy. Thank you.